It's so good to see Cox submitting their automotive digital retailing platform for this year's AWA Awards because the company has been nose to the grindstone working on improving the integrations within the Cox ecosystem, but also making the digital retailing tools easier for consumers. In fact, their digital retailing tools natively installed, for example, on a dealer.com website, seem perfectly fitted, open for engagement. Instead of clicking a button that opens up another experience, the digital retailing tools kind of sit open and available for consumers to dive right in to find out the affordability of their next vehicle. Each year, Cox has made more improvements and delivered on its promise to make it easier for digital retailing leads to be handled in Vin Solutions, and also to bring into Vin Solutions the entire shopping history when someone comes and engages with the Cox digital retailing tool. Each week, it seems that, new features and enhancements and design changes are happening in digital retailing. So if you haven't had a moment to see the latest version of Cox Automotive's digital retailing platform, take a few moments right now and watch the highlights from the video presentation made to our research team. And maybe this will be the time for you to make a decision, to get a full update from their digital retailing team to help you sell more cars in a digital age. Let's take a look at the Cox DR video presentation right now.
Hello everybody, this is Noah Lee, Head of Product Consulting for Dealer.com. So it's going to be a video series where you learn all of the different steps of the process and how our various software solutions help dealers have a seamless for their customers so they can sell more cars for higher gross profit and have happier customers. So in this particular video, what we're going to be focusing on is Deal Start, and that really is on the dealership website, and focusing on the digital retailing tools that the customers interact with along the way of their shopping journey. Now we're going to jump over to the vehicle details page. So let's load that up. This is where the meat and potatoes of digital retailing really start to show up. So you'll see the tool is actually seamlessly integrated into the VDP on desktop. And if we go over here on mobile, you'll see it's seamlessly integrated here. So we don't have to fill out a form to start working with digital retailing or push a button for it to pop up. It's just there, right? We're keeping the process transparent and we have a low barrier to entry. We want to let as many people engage with digital retailing as possible. Here's why. If people engage with digital retailing, maybe start penciling their deal, they're actually about 5 times more likely to submit a lead. Other great features about the tool, you can white label it, so you can upload your own custom logo unique to your dealership's branding. We have a new feature where you can look up a deal. So if you've submitted a deal previously, you can enter in your email address. It'll send you a PIN code. You pop that in, it'll take you right back into your previous deal. And it will recognize multiple previous deals. So if you've submitted a bunch of different deals, you can actually see all of those in one shot. We're going to show you real finance and lease payments on these tabs right here, allowing shoppers to navigate through them. And we also have cash deals, allowing shoppers to enter the digital retailing workflow, even if they have their own financing or just want to cut one big check. So really handy for those shoppers who might have financing through their local credit union or are maybe buying a used vehicle. We've got the ability to enter in a lower price right here. So I can pop it in. I'm just going to recalculate my payment. As I go through, I can choose my credit score, choose my rates. Now these get changed up as the credit score gets changed. So if I were to go there, we'd actually see different credit or APRs pop in. So these are real APRs set up by the dealership using the lenders that they work with through DealerTrack. I can also pop my cash down, and it's going to update that payment. The other thing too is this is a fully responsive tool, so 100% optimized for mobile or desktop. So the next step here would be to actually go in and hit the next call to action. So I can go in and I can choose any one of these. I can add my trade-in. I can actually submit my offer, so I can get my info right to the dealership, start that conversation, or calculate my taxes. Any one of these buttons eventually is going to lead us to the expanded workflow. The nice thing about submitting your offer is you're able to get that info right there. And actually, we're encouraging people to do that by having this nice high contrast color, encouraging shoppers to go through and click that button right there. So we'll go through, enter our info, and what we can do is then get into the expanded workflow. There we go, submit our offer, and what's going to happen is it's going to take us into this expanded workflow that is omnidirectional. So the first thing it's going to do is ask me to pop in my zip code so I can calculate my taxes and fees accurately. You'll also see if we've got multiple kind of municipalities or incorporated versus unincorporated areas of your zip, you can choose those to make sure your taxes are coming through accurately. We hit done, and there we go, we've got our expanded workflow. So you'll see here it's a guided experience, like I said, but it's omnidirectional. So it's not locking me into taking each step one by one. I can click on any one of these and complete any step I want. But it's going to recommend that next vehicle using high contrast colors and actually slightly larger buttons to encourage people to click, right? The other thing we're going to do is show you how much time you can save by taking these additional steps, encouraging people to go further down that digital retailing workflow. So that's important because, remember, as people take more steps in the digital retailing workflow, they're more likely to report being happy with the sales process. We also know it takes about 2 hours and 50 minutes to complete a transaction in a dealership, yet customers report saying that they want that to be 90 minutes or less. Well, how can we speed things up? Well, having them complete more of the sales process at the convenience of their own home. So there you go. We're going to encourage people to take those next steps. All right, so I can value my vehicle using Kelley Blue Book. Now, if the dealership is using instant cash offer, we can display that as an option for the shopper, but they do get the trade-in value as kind of the baseline trade-in tool. So there you go, we can select our trade-in value and start entering our vehicle's information. It's a free-form text entry, and it's going to guide us through. So you know what we're going to do? Let's do a 2012 Chrysler 300. Right, there we go. Going to pop in that info. We're going to choose our trim, whether or not we own it or lease it, kind of mileage it's got. So you know what, we're going to do 44,000. We're going to pop in our zip code and let them know if there's an active loan on that vehicle. So if we do yes, show how much we owe so it can properly calculate the amount of equity in that vehicle. We're going to hit next, choose our condition. Very good. And then we can go to the next step. One thing you'll notice is we've got these blue circles at the top of the screen showing you how far along this process you've completed. Hit next, choose our color, any engines, transmission options, and any accessories or packages we want to add in there. Then once we hit submit, it's going to show us our trade-in value and apply that to our payment. And the other great stuff too is going to recommend our next steps. So you can see you should apply for financing. You're going to save yourself 45 minutes. If you already have financing, you can view your deal and get right back into that workflow. But let's go ahead. We're going to apply for financing. Now the finance application is a totally redesigned tool. Really the key thing to remember here is it's a direct integration into Dealertrack's finance driver. So if you're using finance driver, you can run your credit report right from Dealertrack without having to print out forms, fax them, or anything like that. It's done right through Dealertrack. Nice addition too is we have a direct integration with Route 1. So if a dealership is choosing to use Route 1 for their credit applications, contracting, etc., we can run this credit app right into Route 1. So it's a huge time saver for them. It's going to take their information, copy it in. They just have to enter in some additional stuff. I'm not going to go through the full credit app process just because filling out a form is filling out a form, but you'll see it follows a lot of the same steps that we saw in that trade-in evaluation. So it's going to show you the steps that you complete along the way, and then at the end, it's going to recommend your next step. Let's go back to the expanded workflow. I'm going to show a couple other features. One thing that you're going to note here is the vehicle details follow you wherever you go, so you can learn more about the vehicle, right, without having to exit the tool. I can also check out my finance details along the way and view a full finance breakdown of my deal so far at any time. So a really great way for shoppers to dive into the numbers of that deal. So let's check out some of the other features that we've got here. We're going to pull in real incentives directly from the manufacturer. So allowing that shopper to select some incentives that are going to save them a little bit of money. What's great about this is it is smart enough to know when incentives are not compatible with each other. So say you've got a loyalty offer and a conquest offer, it won't allow you to select both, stacking incentives and setting in proper expectations. So you know what, let's add a military member offer. You can see it's going to update my payment in just a second here. There we go. Other great stuff we're going to show you here. We're going to pull in real F&I products with the vehicle protection section here. What's great about this, we got videos that'll educate the shoppers on these products. And we're going to show you real prices for these, so how much they will add to your monthly payment. So you can see Easy Care Service Agreement, add $5 a month to your payment. What's great about this too is you can customize it. So you can choose how long that term is going to be for. So you know what we're going to do, 60 months and 100,000 miles. And you can see that payment gets updated. I can add that to my deal and it updates my monthly payment right there. It's a really great way for a dealership to pad their bottom line and sell more of these high value services. So on average, what we see is digital retailing deals generate about an additional $300 in back end gross. And a lot of it is people seeing these and being more open to purchasing them.
And before we go, there's a couple things that we got to cover. Number one is the fact that Deal Start doesn't have to start on a dealership's website. So if a dealership wants, they can sign up for Accelerate on AutoTrader or Kelley Blue Book and have the same basic workflow on their listing sites as they would on their dealership site. So a customer can go in and start penciling their deal and going through that expanded workflow just like they would on the dealership website. So we're really just going to talk about the integrations with VIN here and how it makes it easy for a salesperson to understand the terms of the deal, work that deal, and then send it off to DealerTrack or whomever to get signed. So let's check it out. So this is the customer dashboard where we pulled up a customer who submitted a digital retailing deal. So one of the big things that you get when you have VIN solutions and our digital retailing tools is the digital deal jacket, the review a deal button, and it shows up right here. It says Accelerate. And if I click on that, it's actually going to pull up what I like to call the digital deal jacket. It's going to give you a really easy to understand review of everything that consumer has done in the deal making process. So it's going to show you the vehicle that they're looking at and your top level payment information, so payment terms and APR. It's also going to show you the steps that that shopper has taken along the way and highlight those steps that they most recently completed. You can also dive into the details on that deal so you can really understand those terms. So it makes it really easy for the salesperson to follow up in a professional manner and recommend those next steps. Hey, looks like you submitted your credit application and you've uploaded a document. Next step would be for you to schedule your test drive or to lock in your financing terms. So a really easy way to provide that white glove service. The other nice thing about having VIN solutions and our digital retailing tools is no lead duplication. So if our friend Barry Goldwater went in and updated his deal, it just updates the existing lead. It does not submit a new lead, which can clog up your CRM and cause some issues with reporting. Another great thing here is the ability to copy this deal over to VIN desking. So we can hit this button here. It says copy to desking, and it's going to take all that information that was in the deal and pop it right into the desking tool. So maybe our friend Barry could not qualify for that 0.9% APR because his credit score wasn't good enough. You need to bump that rate. No problem. You can pop it in there. There you go. So it's a big time saver, right? You're not having to rekey in information. And it's also error prevention. That dealer, right, doesn't have to rekey in that information, prevents them from potentially getting a number wrong, right? Other great thing too is if Barry had entered a trade-in, you can see that trade right there. And if you click on this link, it'll actually pull up a vAuto. So if you've got vAuto, you can evaluate whether or not you want to keep that vehicle on the lot and sell it, or send it off to auction. Now, what's really great too is once that deal is good to go, you can push it to DealerTrack and get that contracting process started up. All right, let's go back to VIN. I'm going to show you a couple of other things. So one thing to note is if you don't have VIN solutions, you do get access to that deal view. It just shows up in the lead notes. So if I hit right here, which says lead received, usually there's a link right there. In this particular one, we just need to find it. So there it is. So in any other CRM, you're going to see this link and they can just click on it and pull up the same basic deal view.
I hope you've seen progress being delivered on the integration of all the tools in the Cox Automotive ecosystem. And of course, each month it seems that more integrations, more feedback from dealers is making this platform a strong competitor in the best solution for dealer groups and for OEMs who want a transparent, easy to use digital retailing platform for their brand. Now, I can't tell you all the features of their digital retailing platform in just a few moments or in a short video, so you owe it to yourself to schedule a demo and get the latest information on the Cox Automotive digital retailing platform that will help you sell more cars in a digital age.